It's not that I've gotten old, it's that your ideas are stupid. Okay?
Well, common sense is still common sense.
Yes, common sense is common sense, and I'm going to call it out wherever it is on the spectrum.
Bill Maher just dismantled CNN, and he didn't even have to raise his voice. While the network spiraled into full-blown panic mode over Trump, like it was déjà vu from 2016, Maher sat back, sipped his truth tea, and calmly exposed the chaos for what it really is. A desperate ratings grab dressed up as journalism. Thought CNN couldn't get any more unhinged. Think again. Maher didn't hold back, and what he said to them straight up might be the coldest takedown yet.
So I'm not going to chase every rabbit down the hole like I did the first term. You know, that's what I mean about he's not going to get my mind. He's a kooky guy who says a lot of kooky things. And I'm just not going to pre-hate anything. I'm just going to hope for the best. And then when something serious happens, I'll comment on that.
From the jump, Maher goes on the offensive. Calm, composed, but razor sharp. He makes it crystal clear. Unlike CNN, he's not. Turning every Trump moment into a national meltdown. No doomsday music. No breathless panic. Maher flat out rejects the media's obsession with turning headlines into hysteria. He calls it what it is, outrage masquerading as journalism, and he says it live, no filter. While CNN clutches its pearls, Maher swats away the drama and pivots the heat toward Biden, proving he's not picking sides. He's torching the whole circus.
So I'm writing an election book, and one of the things I just stumbled on was a monologue you gave in October 2023, in which you warned the Democratic Party of Ruth Bader Biden. You were saying the American people think he's too old. You're worried about this. You had a great line about it doesn't matter if he's a national treasure and has done great things. If you got on an airplane and you heard that Buzz Aldrin was the pilot, you'd get off. I'm sorry for botching your very funny joke, but they didn't listen to you. But you were proven correct.
Bill Maher isn't just one of the sharpest comedians alive. He's one of the few voices in media with the guts to cut through the noise. Watch as he flips an entire CNN panel on its head, forcing them to shift gears and suddenly focus on Biden. But that was just the warm-up. While Democrats lined up to parrot the claim that Biden was fit to run, Maher stood nearly alone on the left, warning this was a train wreck in slow motion. And sure enough, that prediction aged like milk under a heat lamp. Now the same people who mocked him are scrambling to rewrite the narrative. But Maher's receipts? Loud, clear, and impossible to spin.
Some people at 70 act like they're 100 years old, and some people are like 40-year-olds. But this was a case, okay, where Biden was too old. Having made that case that it's a case-by-case basis, I was now saying, yes, some of those cases are that the person just is too old for the job. And he was going to be, much like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, someone who was seen in history as one who stayed at the fair too long and cost his party dearly. And he did.
This moment hits especially hard when you realize CNN was one of the loudest voices weaponizing the ageism card. Anyone who dared question Biden's fitness, branded discriminatory, and shut down with cries of bias. So when Maher locks eyes with the panel and unapologetically defends his stance, it's not just bold, it's legendary. He delivers a masterclass in guts, torching CNN's double standard in real time. They used ageism as a shield for Biden. Now they're choking on their own narrative. And when the heat got too real for the host, boom, quick pivot back to Trump. Classic dodge dot.
Yeah, it's possible. Do I think he's going to start arresting comedians? I don't, but it's possible. And look, anything's possible with this guy. I'll put it this way. When George Bush was in the White House, it never even entered my mind. Never entered my mind that I couldn't say whatever I wanted to say without repercussions. And that's one of the great things about living in America. And we take America for granted and that kind of stuff. And maybe we can't anymore. So we'll see.
Jake Tapper clearly set the trap, expecting Maher to dive headfirst into a classic anti-Trump meltdown. But Maher, he didn't flinch. He sidestepped the bait like a pro and dropped a truth bomb instead. He made it clear he doesn't buy into the cartoon villain narrative that CNN and MSNBC keep peddling. That one moment, it froze the room. Maher wasn't there to echo talking points. He was there to say the quiet part out loud, the uncomfortable truth no one else on that set had the guts to admit.
I am stopping doing stand-up just because I'm tired of touring, just because I've been doing it for 40 years. I love it. Look, I love nothing more than being on stage somewhere telling jokes to strangers. It's been my entire life. It's been the most consistent thing in my life.
Rapper just won't quit. Once again, tossing bait, hoping Maher would finally crack and spiral into an anti-Trump rant. This time, the setup suggests Maher might abandon comedy out of fear that a Trump presidency would crush free speech. But Maher, cool as ever, he shuts it down with one smooth reply. If he ever leaves the stage, it won't be politics that sends him packing. It'll be because after 4 decades, he's earned his exit. No fear, no victim card. Just a legend picking his own curtain call. That's the Maher difference. He's not here for applause from the left or right. He's here for truth. Period.
So I've been in training for 40 years. I need a break. And I'm tired of the travel. I'm tired of dragging my ass out of bed on Saturday morning to go to some place after I worked so hard on real time all week. Maybe I'll go back to it. But, you know, I have a podcast. I have a television show. I'm not retiring. And I don't know where this started about I'm getting rid of real time. They're going to have to drag me off of that.
This moment, it should be a wake-up call for CNN. Maybe it's time they quit the non-stop smear machine and let facts speak for themselves. After years of branding Trump as everything from fascist to pure evil, what's even left in their insult arsenal? They've fired every shot, maxed out the outrage meter, and still, half the country stopped listening, because when everything is DEFCON 1, nothing sticks. Bill Maher just proved that calm, truth, and brutal honesty land harder than hysteria. CNN doesn't need more drama. They need perspective. Maher didn't just survive their ambush. He flipped it, exposed their bias, and walked away with his integrity untouchable. In a world drowning in spin, Maher reminded us, real independence isn't loud, it's honest. And if CNN wants to stay in the game, maybe they should take notes, because Maher just gave them a free masterclass in credibility.
What's your response when people tell you that, and you must hear this a lot, that they get that you're one of their primary sources of information?
Flattered, and as it should be, is my response. I feel like people are looking for something that is not slanted. I mean, I certainly have lost fans over the years because I don't say the things that please people all the time, but that's my ultimate bond with the audience. When I lose people, it's like, okay, well, you were never meant to be with me in the first place.
Yeah.
We can't have a relationship.
What makes this even more jaw-dropping? Maher is saying it all right to their faces. No backstage whispers, no off-air jabs. He's calling out the entire media game live, with cameras rolling. He knows exactly what he's doing. The truth is, mainstream media doesn't run on facts. It runs on ratings. And ratings, they feast on outrage. Negative Trump coverage, that's their bread and butter. Not because they believe every headline, but because turning down the volume might crash their numbers. But Maher, he's not playing that game. He doesn't chase clicks, doesn't bow to the algorithm. That's what makes him so rare. In a sea of scripted narratives, he's the one voice that cuts through, blunt, fearless, and willing to burn down the storyline right in front of the storytellers.
Democrats sometimes can take it too far, or, you know, I would categorize liberal as different than woke. You know, woke, which started out as a good thing, alert to injustice, who could be against that, but it became sort of an eye roll because they love diversity except of ideas. And that's not really where we should be. I mean, they have a trail of very bad ideas, I would think, in wokeness.
No Bill Maher interview would be complete without him ripping into the left's obsession with wokeness. And trust me, he did not disappoint. Maher unleashed, no filter. He's been sounding the alarm for years, the Democratic Party's addiction to identity politics, cancel culture, and endless virtue signaling isn't bold, it's self-destructive. While the left was busy scolding, pronouns, and chasing hashtags, real voters were drowning in inflation, rising crime, and border chaos. And last November, the backlash hit like a tidal wave. Maher's not against liberal values. He's against the delusion that wokeness wins elections. When he calls it political poison, it's not for claps. It's a warning. A warning the left better hear loud and clear before they crash and burn again. It's harsh, it's honest, and it's classic Maher. Fearless truth in a world allergic to reality.
5-10 years ago, bedrock liberalism was we are striving to be a colorblind society where we don't see race. Of course, we see it, but it doesn't matter. That's not what woke is. Woke is something very different. It's identity. We see it all the time. It's always the most important thing. I don't think that's liberalism. I mean, I could mention so many issues like that.
Maher made a key point that many on the left won't admit. Wokeness is hurting liberalism. He clearly separates true liberal values from the extreme woke ideas taking over. He wants younger people to understand they're not the same. Liberalism used to stand for free speech, open debate, and seeking the truth. But wokeness pushes for everyone to agree, shuts down opposing views, and focuses on feelings instead of facts. Maher warns that this is breaking the foundation liberalism was built on. If the left mixes progress with censorship and victimhood, they risk losing what made their movement strong. And Maher isn't going to let that happen quietly.
It's not that I've gotten old, it's that your ideas are stupid. Okay?
Common sense is still common sense.
Yes, common sense is common sense, and I'm going to call it out wherever it is on the spectrum.
Common sense is just common sense, but the woke media seems to have missed it. They chase whatever story gets the most clicks and outrage instead of focusing on facts and fairness. They pander to the loudest voices, even if it turns off regular people. Honest talk and nuance are gone. They pick on someone today and act like it never happened tomorrow, all to stay popular. Maher calls this out because he cares about truth, not politics. That's why many people trust him. If you liked this video, hit like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.